It was a hard, hard winter. My dad's health had declined a lot. His mobility was decreasing, his mood was low, and his interest in trying to get better was just waning. I had an interaction with him after a period of seizures. My dad was a warrior, wild monster human, and he was just sobbing. And he said, I can't go on like this. I can't do this anymore. And I think I knew what he meant, but I didn't want that to be true. The tasks of helping him recover and providing care for him as his body was learning how to live post-stroke started from the most minor things like using a spoon, putting on socks, going to the bathroom, speech recovery tasks, whatever he was up for. I was gonna be the wingman or the force behind as far as he wanted to go. And so it took us a few days of really trying to make sure that what he meant by that was that he didn't want to be alive anymore. And once we got to that point of being like, Dad, is what you're saying that you want to die? And he said yes. It was another pivot for me in what caregiving really means.
Okay. It's time to get up. Okay. Got it? Okay, here we go. Yeah, thank you.
When the loved one raises the possibility of MAiD, a caregiver experiences many emotions, really kind of all over the map. It's from shock and disbelief to relief. And these emotions can fluctuate back and forth from one day being relieved to another day being upset and angry too, that it's come to this, or that their loved one is choosing to leave them earlier than they need to.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
I asked her because I was worried that she felt she was a burden, because that's the type of person she was. And she assured us that that wasn't the case. And in her mind, there was a very clear distinction between living and existing. I would have looked after her every day if it was her choice to stay. But that wasn't my choice to make.
He could have lived in that body for 5 or 15 or 20 more years, but he could have the right to say that's not how he wanted it to be.
Before MAiD came on, patients would tell me, Dr. Buckman, I want to die. And you would explore it. And I was kind of selfishly sort of thinking, well, whoa, good thing I don't have to deal with having to hasten their death. When MAiD came on, I found myself in the muddy middle. Very unclear, actually more on the side of not wanting to participate in MAiD. I had always been trained to support life, but I also understood the intolerable suffering. I knew that palliative care couldn't do it all, that we as a discipline had to be humble, just like medicine in general can't do it all. So when a patient says to me, Dr. Buckman, I want MAiD, I hear, Dr. Buckman, my life is intolerable, help me. And having gone into medicine to alleviate suffering, I ultimately decided that I would assist them by providing medical assistance in dying or MAiD.
But you do it because you have no choice. And you do it for her. And to let her know that you support her decision. And because you love her so much. that you want her to go without worrying about us.
And I said I would help him. And I hoped that it would mean I could keep him longer. If that might make him feel at ease around being alive. That was my hope. And it did not mean that. Once we started the process, it became more and more clear that he was so serious about his request and that he had probably wanted that for a lot longer than I had even realized.
She had lost control of everything in her life. And this was the one thing that she was still in control of.
Medical assistance in dying is about autonomy, first and foremost. It's about our right, or the principle that each and every one of us has a right to determine our own health care and how we want to live and how we want to die. That's what MAiD is about.
We didn't know when she was going to choose the date at first. And so there was that uncertainty, when was she going to do it?
And we said, Dad, do you want to do one more Christmas? Or do you want to go somewhere hot in the winter? How long? And he said, the absolute soonest possible. He was ready. And then as a family, we had 90 days for us to get ready.
As you maintain the caregiving relationship right to the end. As a rule, I think we can help caregivers understand that their role is critical to that person's life. These people are living until they're not. And their role as caregiver remains just as important, whether death is natural or not.
Yeah. I see it, Dad.